Get a new leaf. So I'm just gonna kind of cop squat here for a minute and talk to you guys because this is the best light in the kitchen. So it is not done. I have got dishes in the sink. I've got some produce and stuff up here from our garden that I need to preserve. And I still have to do floors and all of that. And I'd really like to wipe down cabinets today, though I did not put that on my list. So the list. That started a few weeks back and I love that system. Every single morning I wake up and my brain is just filled and overflowing with all the things that I want to do for the day, have to do for the day. And I found that if I don't get it out right away, that I end up thinking about things kind of on and off all day and bouncing around, and I'm not as productive unless I just brain dump. I'm not quite sure what's happening out there. So I have this little notebook that I leave in my kitchen, and every morning I just put everything out there. I usually do it over my morning coffee and just get it all out, and I'm done with it, and then I can just go through. I don't put it in order, but I go through and as I do it in the priority that I think it needs to be in at that point in time for whatever's going on in our day, I just check it off, or I scratch it out, and I move on with the day. And I have found that I am so much more productive and my home has so much more order and peace in it. Maybe it's just my imagination because my brain is more at peace, I don't know. But it's working really well, so I'm sticking with it. So, we need to move on. We need to get at least history for the little kids and math. History and math for the little kids done. My oldest is working on his math. That may be a while. And then he can move on to one more thing before we have lunch. And lunch today is gonna be super simple. It's gonna be our snack lunch, which is popcorn that I make with olive oil on the stove. And I cut up apples that we just got from the orchard, and we'll have some lunch meat and some cheese and whatever else I'm throwing in there today. A little bit of a change of plans. I got an alert on Facebook about a field trip that we had scheduled, but I had not written down. In our homeschool co-op, somebody had found this place that I pass all the time and didn't know was there. It is like a flower garden kind of place. They have flower fields and they do like this seed study and how to find them and how to harvest them and learn some good information about some awesome plants, which we're all about. So should be really fun. And Caleb is very excited to see what kind of bugs he can find.
And I'm gonna pick them up.
With your tweezers? You should have brought your container.
It's not a biting bug.
Yeah.
I'll pick them up with my hands.
Okay. That'll be fun. So if it bites or stings, you're going to pick it up with your tweezers? I would probably suggest that if it stings, you leave it alone, especially if it can fly.
And
that could be bad.
Nothing that is a spider.
Nothing that is a spider? Anyway, so we finished... Well, we finished most of math. We have a little bit, we had to kind of pause the lesson for a couple of the kids, and we finished history for the little ones. And we will have to do school later on in the evening today, but that's okay. It's what happens when we get a late start to the day. My to-do list has fallen apart, so we'll see how much I get done. I probably get a good chunk of it done tonight at dinner time when I'm cooking, so we'll see. For now, we're gonna enjoy our field trip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna enjoy our field trip and we're gonna have a fun school day. So we're at this
these and the seeds come out.
Okay, so what form of seed dispersion is that? Is that expulsion, animals, wind, or water?
I'm gonna say either expulsion or animal.
It's expulsion. Yep, because they will. Yep.
Ew, these
pop out.
ones are white.
Oh, it folded up on me.
Yep, you can take that as your sample.
Maybe. You can take this
So
one.
Caleb has a sunflower head. What do you guys think the sunflower head is?
Over here.
Floating.
It could be floating if it fell off in the water. What else? The sunflower head, what would eat sunflowers?
Birds.
Birds. So that was animal, right?
Seed.
Yeah. Let's go find some more. Oh, here's one. Come here. Here's a good wind plant. Because these will get blown off. So here. Here's wind. The last one we have to find, water. That would be a bigger seed.
I got a little seed.
Yeah. Are you dissecting it? What do you find? You found seeds. All sorts of pollinators.
Mom.
I don't know what kind of bug that is. I don't see a stinger. He looks friendly. What'd you find?
I got.
An apple. That would be water.
Right, Mom. I got all of it.
Okay.
Now what should we do? Yeah.
Okay, so we are home now. We had a great field trip. I was not expecting that. It was just this little field trip that was supposed to be a walk in a garden and a flower garden. I had no idea that gorgeous garden was back there and there would be such great information for the kids and for myself. I love when I come across homesteading people because there's not that many of them, and we live in a rural agricultural based area, so usually you find more commercial farming, and those that commercial farm don't also homestead because of the time and the commitment, and whether or not they believe, you know, the more natural ways like most homesteaders do, or you know, they focus more on the commercial thing. Usually it's rare to find both, and this family did both. And man, she just had so much great information, and she had the most beautiful garden and things that I would have never even thought to grow in our area, in our zone. And she just had such a wonderful, wonderful bit of information for the kids. She talked about non-GMOs versus hybrids versus heirlooms, and it was just wonderful. And the kids played and had a great time. We had a wonderful, wonderful discussion about homesteading that turned into mom life and birth stories and all sorts of things that happen when a bunch of homeschooling moms get together, because she herself is a homeschooling mom. It was wonderful, and it was just so good for my soul because I love to find my people, and I did not know there were so many of my people around in this area. I say my people, I say homesteading people. Homesteaders are my people. Homeschoolers are my people too, but a lot of homesteaders are also homeschoolers, and homesteaders, they have my heart. I love them. So when I find them, I pick their brain, and I enjoy being around like-minded people. It's wonderful. So now that we are home, the kids are having a snack. It's probably the least healthy snack that I could give them. They're finishing off the ice cream. It's 4:30, and I'm ruining their dinner, and that's okay. You gonna check on your worm? We need to show your worm. Yesterday we were outside, and I found this guy on the side of the house. I have a 700 square foot garden, and a quarter of it this year is tomato plants. The side of my house, wedged into a door frame, is not where I expected to find this guy. And I really wanted to take a picture of it, but my phone was dead, and my camera was dead. But can you see him? I know my fellow gardeners know what this guy is. This is a tomato hornworm. It is a caterpillar. It turns into, oh, can you put that in the sink for me, please? You wanna see him? I think he's starting to turn a little brown. Maybe he's starting to chrysalis. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, he is.
I can see them.
The homeschooler in me says, oh my goodness, let's turn it into what kind of moth? What kind of moth is this again?
I don't know.
We watched the life cycles. You don't remember what it's called? The hawk moth?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Is it a hawk moth?
Yeah.
Something hawk moth, or maybe it's just hawk moth. So the homesteader in me wants to kill this thing. I'm just not that tough to squish something this big. That's disgusting. And I don't have chickens, so I couldn't give them to them. It'd be a great treat for chickens. Oh, I'll get you a chicken, or a chicken. I'll get you a chicken. I'll get you a cheese stick in just a minute. But the homeschooler in me says, let's capture it, give it some tomato leaves to eat, and study its life cycle. So this was our science lesson today. We looked it up, saw a few videos about it, and we're keeping it for a little while. See what he turns into. Hawk moths are pretty ugly from what I saw, but we'll see. It's educational, right? Oh, I hate these things. This is my very quick and very easy laundry. I guess I can't really call it a method or a system or anything. It's just kind of common sense and what works in our family. I do not fold my kids' clothes or put them away or even go and collect them throughout the house. That is their responsibility. So what I do is I dump out a basket, as you saw, and then I sort them. This is Evie's, Caleb's, Jackson's, and Wyatt's. And all I do is just kind of tuck it inside so it's easy for them to grab. They run up the stairs. I have them do this in every single load of laundry that I bring up, because if I wait until all the laundry's done, they have this huge heaping pile of laundry, then it's very overwhelming to them. And I will tell you, it is a lot less overwhelming for me to have small piles of clothing here versus huge heaping piles of clothes that will inevitably all get put back into a pile and shoved into my chair, where it'll have to get resorted again the next day. So I have them take it up as I go. When the next load comes up, they'll be taking more clothes up. It's little bits out of their time. It's little bits out of my time. It is much more manageable this way. And I'm not folding clothes. I don't know who came up with the idea to fold clothes just to bring them to where they need to be, to open them up and put them on a hanger, but that's ridiculous. So all I do, lay it out. They can take care of whatever needs to be folded. So here's our sock storage. This is how we do socks. So I bring this in, it sits out on our mud room off to the side over by where their shoes are. This drawer is for Evie, this drawer is for Jackson and Caleb, this drawer is for Wyatt. Just put a basket in this rolling cart that I already had laying around. I put it right by the shoes. So that's the sock system. It is super, super easy. It is brainless, for real. There's nothing special about it, but it saves our sanity because my kids hate socks. Right, Caleb?
Uh-huh. They're the worst in the world.
Caleb hates socks. So, if I have to tell him...
Wear them.
Never wear them? Okay. If I have to tell him he's got to go run all the way back upstairs to his room and go get his socks, guess what's not going to happen? Caleb's not going to wear socks, or we're going to kind of melt down in the process, right? Caleb doesn't like socks. So socks next to the shoes, rolling cart on the porch. It's in a really tiny little cutout right next to where our shoes are. It's super easy. I don't think I'm gonna get all this stuff done. I'm not quite sure why I crossed off homeschool, but why don't we just finish it now? Yeah.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
Reading time.
Nope. Nope. 6 plus 5. 11 plus 11. 1 equals 2. 1 and 2. Bingo.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 7 days in a week. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December.
So dinner is ready. I made the meatloaf from the Prairie Homestead cookbook. It smells amazing. that I want to show you because in that cookbook it says, do it this way, put it in this size pan, let it cook for like 45 minutes. I do not make meatloaf in a 9x13 pan or an 8x8 pan or whatever. I do it in my cast iron. It's round, I cut it like a pie. I cannot remember where I heard that tip from or where I saw that from. I want to say I got that tip from Tangi over at Freedom Homestead. Tangi, correct me if I'm wrong, if you are watching, but I want to say that was all you. Not sure. But if you do go over there and check it out, make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed already. They are an awesome channel. So this is what the meatloaf ends up looking like. So here it is. This meatloaf will definitely feed our family of 6 with no problem. I've got some steamable organic broccoli right there, and I've got probably some cottage cheese or something we'll have with it. And that's dinner tonight. And then we're probably gonna spend the rest of our night outside picking tomatoes. I would like to clear out a couple more plants. I really want to clean out the rest of my zucchini plants because I have powder and mildew on them now. So I really want to do that. And I am not gonna get to that rest of that list. I got maybe half that list done. If I was home all day, I probably would have been able to get it all done. It was a pretty good day. We did get all of our school done, except for one thing. And I still have hopes to be able to finish it tonight. But if not, it is what it is. That's okay. We will make up the one thing later, tomorrow. We'll do it. We'll fit it in. It'll work.
Hey guys, Mom, tell you what I'm gonna do. Mom, I'm digging. Mom, can I dig?